The radar screams red at 9:47 a.m., and Officer Raina Calloway's hand moves to the siren before her mind catches up. 70 miles per hour. School zone. 40 limit. The black Aston Martin cuts through Brookhaven Heights like a knife through silk. Smooth, deliberate, expensive. Raina flips the lights. Her pulse doesn't spike. 8 years on the force taught her that adrenaline clouds judgment, and she needs hers sharp. The car doesn't slow immediately. It glides another 100 yards before pulling over, as if the driver's deciding whether stopping is worth his time. Raina steps out. Morning sun hits her badge, throwing light across the manicured lawns and quiet houses that line the street. Nobody's watching. Nobody ever does in neighborhoods like this. She approaches the driver's side, hand resting near her holster. Not on it, just near. Protocol. The window rolls down before she reaches it. Afternoon, officer. The voice is warm honey over cold steel. The man behind the wheel doesn't look nervous. Doesn't look caught. He looks amused. Hi, viewers. Kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Raina stops 3 feet from the door, positioning herself at an angle where she can see his hands. Both rest on the steering wheel. Relaxed. Too relaxed. License and registration, she says. Her voice carries no emotion, no invitation for conversation. He tilts his head, studying her the way someone studies a painting they're considering buying. You're new around here. License and registration, she repeats. He reaches for the glove compartment slowly, deliberately, like he's teaching her patience. His movements are calculated. Everything about him screams control, from the tailor black suit that probably costs more than her monthly salary to the tattoos crawling up his neck like secrets he stopped hiding years ago. The ID lands in her palm. She reads the name twice. Victor Loroso. Her stomach drops, but her face stays stone. She's seen that name before. Not on a traffic stop. In a sealed folder marked Organized Crime Watch List during a briefing 3 months ago. The kind of briefing where they tell you to observe and report, never engage. She's already broken that rule. 50 in a 40, she says, pulling her citation book from her belt. That's reckless endangerment. Victor Smuyas. Not the polite kind. The kind that says he knows something she doesn't. Most cops don't style my car. Most people don't drive like the road belongs to them. He laughs, soft, genuine, surprised. Fair point. She writes the ticket slowly, keeping him in her peripheral vision. He doesn't fidget, doesn't check his phone, just watches her with the kind of attention that makes her skin prickle. The citation tears clean from the pad. She holds it out. He takes it, fingers brushing hers for half a second longer than necessary. Raina Calloway. He reads from her name tag, voice dropping lower. I'll remember that. She pulls her hand back. And I'll remember your fine is due in 30 days. He leans back against the leather seat, eyes never leaving hers. If you weren't married, officer. He pauses, letting the words hang in the summer air. I'd add my number to that ticket instead of signature. Raina's jaw tightens. Her left hand, ringless for 3 years now, stays perfectly still at her side. He's done his homework, which means this wasn't random. Good thing I'm married to the law, she says, turning on her heel. She walks back to her cruiser with measured steps. Not fast enough to look scared. Not slow enough to look shaken. Behind her, the Aston Martin's engine purrs to life. By the time she slides into her driver's seat, he's already gone. But the ticket in her hand feels heavier than it should. Because Victor LaRosa doesn't just run logistics companies and charity foundations. He runs money, influence, people, and now he knows her name. What do you think Victor really wanted from that traffic stop? Drop your answer below. The precinct smells like burnt coffee and old paperwork when Raina walks in 20 minutes later. She doesn't head to the break room, doesn't stop at her desk. She goes straight to the records terminal in the back corner where the older computers hum like dying insects. Her fingers fly across the keyboard. Loroso, Victor. Enter. The screen loads, then stops. Red text flashes. Access restricted. Clearance level 3 required. She tries again. Same result. Looking for something? Raina doesn't flinch. She closes the window and turns. Sergeant Briggs stands in the doorway, coffee mug in hand, gut hanging over his belt like he's been promoted past the point of caring. Running a plate, she says. Standard follow-up. Briggs takes a long sip. His eyes stay on her. Outside your sector this morning. It's not a question. Caught a speeder near Brookhaven. Wrote him up. Name. She hesitates for a fraction of a second. Briggs notices. He notices everything when it comes to paperwork that might land on his desk. Victor LaRosa, she says. The mug stops halfway to his mouth. He sets it down on the nearest desk with a dull thud. You wrote LaRosa a ticket. He was doing 70 in a 40. School zone. Briggs stares at her like she just told him she arrested the mayor's wife. Calloway, you know who that is? I know his driving record now includes a citation. Jesus Christ. He rubs his face with both hands. You don't touch LaRosa. You see his car. You look the other way. That's not how traffic law works. That's exactly how it works when the guy you're pulling over has half the city council on speed dial. Briggs picks up his coffee again, but his hand shakes slightly. Anger or fear, Raina can't tell. Drop it. File the ticket and forget his name. He leaves without waiting for a response. Raina sits at the terminal for another 3 minutes, staring at the locked file. Then she pulls out her phone and opens a browser. No department firewalls. No access logs. She types, Victor LaRosa, Chicago. The results flood in. Charity galas. Business acquisitions. Real estate developments. His face appears in a dozen photos. Always in expensive suits. Always surrounded by people who look important. But there's something else. A 2-year-old article from a small investigative blog. The Logistics King. How LaRosa built an empire on invisible roads. She clicks. The article is long, detailed, boring on the surface. It talks about shipping routes, offshore accounts, shell companies. But buried in the middle is a name that makes her breath catch. Sofia Greco, daughter of Marcus Greco, former accountant for the Valdez Syndicate. Missing since 2023. Last seen at a LaRosa Industries fundraiser. Raina screenshots the article. Then she clears her browser history. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. Careful, officer. Curiosity killed more than cats. She stares at the screen. No photo. No caller ID. Just 10 words that land like a punch to the gut. She deletes the message. But her hands won't stop shaking. Because Victor LaRosa didn't just notice her name. He's already watching. Should Raina back off or dig deeper? Tell us what you do. 3 days pass. Raina doesn't get another text. Doesn't see the Aston Martin. Doesn't hear Victor's name mentioned in briefings. But she feels him everywhere. The unmarked sedan parked across from her apartment Tuesday night. Gone by morning. The hang-up call on her cell Wednesday afternoon. No voice made. The way Sergeant Briggs avoids eye contact Thursday during roll call. She's being tested. Or warned. Maybe both. Friday evening, she's assigned security detail at the Riverside Convention Center. Some charity gala. Black tie donors. Champagne fountains. Speeches about giving back. The kind of event where rich people congratulate themselves for being generous with money they'll write off on taxes. Raina stands near the east entrance in full uniform, hands clasped behind her back, scanning faces. Most ignore her. A few nod politely. One woman asks where the bathroom is. Then the crowd shifts, and she sees him. Victor LaRosa walks through the main doors like he owns the building. Probably does. He's in a charcoal suit tonight. No tie. Collar open just enough to show the edge of his tattoos. A woman walks beside him. Late 20s, dark hair swept into an elegant twist, red dress that costs more than Raina's car. But it's not the dress Raina notices. It's the woman's eyes. Frightened. Hollow. Smiling. Raina knows that look. She's seen it on domestic violence calls. On trafficking victims. On people who've learned that survival means pretending everything's fine. Victor's hand rests on the small of the woman's back, guiding her, claiming her. The woman's shoulders are rigid beneath the silk. They move through the crowd toward the silent auction tables. Raina follows at a distance, weaving between clusters of conversations. She keeps her head down, her presence unremarkable. The woman stops at a display of jewelry. Her hand reaches for a bracelet, delicate silver chain with tiny diamonds. She picks it up, fingers trembling slightly. Victor leans in, whispers something in her ear. The woman's smile falters for half a second. Then she puts the bracelet down. Raina moves closer, pretending to check the perimeter. She's 5 feet away when the bracelet slips from the table and hits the floor with a soft clink. The woman freezes. Raina moves without thinking. She bends, picks up the bracelet, holds it out. Their hands touch. The woman's fingers are ice cold despite the warmth of the room. Her eyes lock onto Raina's for a single, desperate moment. "Help me," she mouths. No sound, just lips forming 2 words. Then Victor's hand is on the woman's shoulder, pulling her back with gentle, unmistakable force. "Officer Calloway." His voice is smooth as glass. "Didn't expect to see you here." Raina straightens, bracelet still in her palm. "Just doing my job, Mr. LaRosa. Making sure everyone stays safe." His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Then we're both in public service. The woman won't look at Raina now. Her gaze is fixed on the floor, shoulders hunched inward like she's trying to disappear. "Enjoy your evening," Victor says. It sounds like a dismissal, a warning, a promise. He guides the woman away, hand never leaving her back. Raina watches them vanish into the crowd. Her heart hammers against her ribs. She looks down at the bracelet still clutched in her hand. A security guard approaches. "You find something? Just returning this," Raina says, handing it over. But as she walks back to her post, her phone buzzes again. Same unknown number. "You should have stayed at the door, officer." Some people can't be saved. Raina deletes it. But this time, she screenshots the number first. Because Sofia Greco isn't missing anymore. She's standing right next to the man who made her disappear. And Raina just became the only person who knows she's still alive. Do you think Sofia's message was real or a trap? Comment below. Raina doesn't sleep that night. She sits at her kitchen table until 3 a.m., laptop open, coffee going cold in her mug. The screenshot of Sofia Greco from the 2023 article stares back at her. Same face. Same hollow eyes. 2 years older. Still trapped. She cross-references the name with missing persons reports. Nothing official. No family filed a complaint. No investigation opened. Because people like Marcus Greco, accountants for crime syndicates, don't call the police when their daughters vanish. They know exactly who took them. Raina leans back, rubbing her eyes. The smart move is to forward everything to the FBI. Let them handle it. Walk away. But the FBI takes months. Warrants. Jurisdictional fights. Meanwhile, Sofia Greco stays locked in whatever cage Victor built for her. Her phone lights up. Not a text this time. A call. Same unknown number. She answers. Doesn't speak. Silence. Then breathing. Then a voice. Female. Young. Barely a whisper. "He knows you saw me. Sophia." The line goes dead. Raina stares at her phone. Her hands are steady now. Fear burns off when purpose takes over. She opens a new document and starts typing everything she knows. Times. Locations. Names. The traffic stop. The gala. The whispered plea. The phone calls. She saves it to an encrypted cloud drive her ex-husband set up for her years ago when she was working undercover Vice. Then she gets dressed and drives to the precinct at 4 a.m. The records room is empty. She uses her partner's login, Davis, who retired last year, but whose credentials haven't been deactivated yet. Sloppy IT work. Lucky break. The file on Victor LaRosa opens this time. It's thicker than she expected. Investigations dating back a decade. Money laundering. Racketeering. Witness intimidation. But every case ends the same way. Insufficient evidence. Or witness recanted. Or investigation closed. Lack of cooperation. Someone's been protecting him. Not just lawyers. Someone inside the department. She scrolls to the bottom. There's a note flagged in red. Any inquiries regarding subject must be reported to Deputy Chief Morrison. Direct line only. Morrison, the man who decides promotions. The man who shakes hands with donors at fundraisers. The man whose name appears in 3 of the photos from Victor's charity events. Raina's stomach turns. She prints nothing, downloads nothing, just memorizes names and closes the file. By the time she leaves, dawn is breaking over the parking lot. Her car is where she left it, but something's wrong. The driver's side door is unlocked. She never leaves it slowly, hand on her weapon. Nothing inside looks disturbed. Same fast food wrappers. Same gym bag in the back seat. Then she sees it, sitting on her dashboard. A single red rose in a glass vial. No note, no card, just the rose. Reina picks it up carefully, checking for prints, for wires, for anything. It's just a flower. Beautiful, expensive, threatening. She throws it in the nearest trash can and drives home. But when she pulls into her apartment complex 20 minutes later, she sees the same unmarked sedan from Tuesday night. Parked 2 spaces from her building. Engine off. Windows tinted. She doesn't go inside. She drives past, circles the block, parks 3 streets over, and walks back through the alley. When she finally reaches her apartment, she checks every window, every lock, every corner. Nothing's been touched, but she knows someone's been inside. She can feel it. The air tastes different, like cologne, expensive, familiar. She sits on her couch, gun on her lap, waiting for sunrise. Her phone buzzes at 6:47 a.m., different number this time. Donc fortifou. Tonight, 11:30, bring no one. No name, no explanation. But Reina knows exactly what it means. Someone's giving her a chance, or setting her up. Either way, Sofia Greco's running out of time. Would you go to Dock 47 alone? Yes or no? Drop your answer. Reina spends Saturday morning at the gun range. She fires 200 rounds, cleaning her Glock twice, checking her spare magazines until her fingers ache. Muscle memory, preparation, control. By noon, her phone's been quiet. No texts, no calls, just the weight of tonight pressing down like a storm building offshore. She stops by her ex-husband's law office around 2 p.m. Deschamps' firm handles family law now. Divorces, custody battles, restraining orders. Safe work, boring work, the kind that doesn't get you killed. He looks up when she walks in, surprise flickering across his face. Reina, everything okay? Need a favor. He sets down his pen. They've been divorced 3 years, but he still reads her better than anyone. What kind of favor? She slides a thumb drive across his desk. If something happens to me, give this to Agent Carmen Ruiz at the FBI field office. Nobody else. Not the precinct. Not Morrison. Just Ruiz. Deschamps doesn't touch it. What's on it? Everything I know about Victor La Rosa. His face goes pale. Jesus, Heine. You're investigating La Rosa? Are you insane? I'm doing my job. Your job is writing tickets and breaking up bar fights. Not taking on the mob. My job is protecting people who can't protect themselves. She stands. Just hold on to it. If I'm fine tomorrow, I'll come get it back. And if you're not? She doesn't answer. Just walks out. The rest of the afternoon drags. She tries to eat, but can't. Tries to watch TV, but the screen blurs. Finally, she lies down on her couch and forces herself to sleep for 2 hours. Rest before battle. Basic training rule. She wakes at 9 p.m. Groggy and stiff. Showers. Dresses in dark jeans, black jacket, boots. No uniform tonight. She straps her vest under her shirt, clips her badge to her belt, checks her gun one last time. At 10:45, she's in her car, driving toward the industrial waterfront on the south side. The docks are empty this time of night. Abandoned warehouses, rusted cranes, broken streetlights. The kind of place where things happen and nobody hears. She parks 4 blocks away, kills the engine, and walks the rest. Her breath mists in the cold November air. Her footsteps echo on cracked pavement. Dock 47 sits at the end of a long pier. A single black SUV is parked outside a warehouse with boarded windows. No lights, no movement. Reina crouches behind a shipping container, scanning the area. One vehicle, no vaca visible. Either it's a setup, or someone's confident she'll come alone. She activates her body cam, tucked beneath her collar. Recording. Insurance. She moves closer, staying low, gun drawn. The warehouse door is cracked open. Voices drift out, male low arguing. She peers through the gap. Inside, Victor stands in the center of the space, hands in his pockets, face calm. A man in a gray suit talks beside him, gesturing sharply. Behind them, tied to a metal chair, is Sofia Greco. Tape over her mouth. Bruises on her arms. Eyes wide with terror. Reina's jaw clenches. This isn't an exchange. It's a negotiation. And Sofia's the collateral. She takes a breath, counts to 3, pushes the door open. Drop the weapon, she says, voice steady, gun aimed at Gray's suit. 3 heads turn. Gray's suit's hand moves toward his jacket. Victor doesn't move at all, just watches her with that same amused expression from the traffic stop. Officer Calloway, Victor says softly, you really should have stayed in your lane. Gray's suit draws. Reyna fires first. The shot echoes like thunder. Gray's suit goes down, clutching his leg, gun clattering across concrete. Victor still doesn't move. Impressive. Then the warehouse explodes with movement. A second man, hidden in the shadows, fires. The bullet grazes Reyna's shoulder, spinning her sideways. Pain rips through her arm. She dives behind a crate, returns fire blind. 2 shots. 3. Sophia screams through the tape. Reyna rolls, aims, fires again. The second gunman drops. She doesn't wait to see if he's dead. She's already moving, rushing towards Sophia, cutting the zip ties with her pocket knife. Can you run? Reyna gasps. Sophia nods, tears streaming. Reyna pulls her to her feet. They're 5 steps from a door when Victor's voice stops them cold. You think this ends with handcuffs? Reyna turns. He's still standing in the same spot. Unarmed, unhurried, like none of this was unexpected. She aims her gun at his chest. On the ground. Now. He smiles. You recorded all this, didn't you? Smart. But you know what's smarter? Knowing who watches those recordings before they reach the FBI. Her blood runs cold. Morrison. He's talking about Morrison. Doesn't matter, Reyna says. I made copies. A lot of copies. That's a lie. But he doesn't need to know that. Victor studies her for a long moment. Then he raises his hands slowly and kneels. Reyna cuffs him while Sophia trembles beside her. The rain starts outside, soft at first, then pouring. By the time she walks Victor out of the warehouse, both of them are soaked. She shoves him against the SUV. Water drips from his hair, his suit, his smile. This isn't over, he says quietly. You know that, right? Reyna leans in close. No, she whispers. It ends with truth. Sirens wail in the distance. Someone must have called in the gunshots. She doesn't know if the response will be help or hindrance. But Sophia's alive. Victor's in cuffs. And the body cam caught everything. For now, that's enough. Who do you think sent Reyna that text? Drop your theory below. The body cam footage uploads at 1:47 a.m. from a coffee shop 3 miles from the docks. Reyna's hands shake as she types the email. Not from fear. From cold. From blood loss. From the knowledge that once she hits send, there's no taking it back. The bullet grazes on her shoulder, throbs beneath the makeshift bandage she wrapped in a gas station bathroom. Sophia sits across from her, clutching a paper cup of hot chocolate like it's the only warm thing left in the world. Where will they take me? Sophia asks. Her voice is small, fractured. Somewhere safe, Reyna says. She doesn't mention witness protection. Doesn't explain how Sophia's life as she knew it is over. Some truths land better in daylight. The upload bar hits 100%. Reyna attaches a 3-page report, types Agent Carmen Ruiz's email from memory, and hovers over the send button. If Morrison's dirty, this won't reach the FBI. It'll reach him first. And Victor walks. If Morrison's clean, the entire department gets torn apart. Careers end. Cops go to prison. Chicago PD becomes a headline. Either way, Reyna's life as she knows it ends tonight. She hits send. The email disappears into the void. No confirmación. No receipt. Just gone. Sophia watches her. What happens now? Now we wait. They don't wait long. Reyna's phone rings at 2:03 a.m. unknown number. She answers on speaker. Officer Calloway. The voice is female, clipped, professional. This is Agent Ruiz. I just received your file. Are you somewhere secure? Reyna's chest loosens. For now, stay there. I'm sending a team to your location. Do not leave. Do not contact anyone in your department. Do you understand? Yes. Is Sophia Greco with you? Reyna looks across the table. Sophia's eyes are red-rimmed, exhausted alive. Yes. Keep her safe. We're 20 minutes out. The line goes dead. Sophia exhales like she's been holding her breath for 2 years. Is it really over? Reyna doesn't answer. Because she knows better. Victor LaRosa didn't build an empire by getting caught once and staying down. Men like him have lawyers, connections, backup plans. This isn't over. It's just beginning. At 2:31 a.m., 3 black SUVs pull into the parking lot. Federal plates, tinted windows. Agents in windbreakers marked FBI swarm the coffee shop like it's a crime scene. Agent Ruiz is tall, sharp-eyed, moving with the kind of authority that doesn't need volume. She extends a hand to Reina. "You did good work tonight, officer." "I did my job." "Your job almost got you killed." Ruiz gestures to the bandage on Reina's shoulder. "EMS is outside. Get that looked at." "I'm Phoenix." That wasn't a request. 2 agents escort Sophia to a separate vehicle. She looks back once, mouthing thank you before the door closes. Then she's gone. Ruiz turns to Reina. "We need you to come in for a full debrief. Tonight, everything you know about LaRosa, Morrison, anyone connected. How long will that take?" "As long as it takes." Ruiz's expression softened slightly. "You just handed us the biggest organized crime case in a decade. But it's going to get ugly before it gets better. You ready for that?" Reina thinks about the rows on her dashboard. The texts. The break-in. Victor's smile in the rain. "I've been ready," she says. But as the agents load her into an SUV, her phone buzzes one last time. Same unknown number. "You think you won. But pawns don't beat kings. They just get sacrificed first." Reina deletes it, but the message burns behind her eyes all the way to the federal building. "Do you think Morrison will turn on Victor or protect him? Drop your guess." The interrogation room smells like stale coffee and fluorescent lights. Reina's been sitting here for 4 hours, answering the same questions 3 different ways. Agent Ruiz takes notes. 2 other agents watch from behind one-way glass. "Walk me through the gala again," Ruiz says. "How did you know it was Sophia?" "I didn't. Not first. I saw the fear in her eyes. Recognized it." "From where?" "Domestic calls. Trafficking cases. Women who smile because they're too scared not to." Ruiz nods, writes something down. "And the text that led you to Doc 47. Any idea who sent it?" "No. Could have been Sophia. Maybe. Or someone else who wanted Victor caught." "Like who?" Reina hesitates. "Someone inside his organization. Someone who's tired of taking orders." Ruiz taps her pen against the table. "Or someone setting you up to take the fall." The thoughts crossed Reina's mind 100 times. But it doesn't change the fact that Sophie is alive because she went. Either way, Reina says Victor's in custody. That's what matters. Ruiz leans back. "He made bail 2 hours ago." The air leaves the room. "What?" "Judge Kellerman granted bail at $500,000. LaRosa's lawyers had a bondsman standing by. He walked out of county lockup at 6 a.m. Reina's hands curl into fists beneath the table. "On what grounds?" "Flight risk assessed as low. No prior convictions. Extensive community ties." Ruiz's voice is flat, tired. "And Judge Kellerman plays golf with Deputy Chief Morrison every Sunday." There it is. The corruption she suspected, confirmed in one sentence. "So what now?" Reina asks. "He's just free. For now. But we got enough to build a RICO case. The body cam footage, Sophia's testimony, financial records we've been collecting for months. It'll take time, but we'll bury him." "How much time?" 6 months. Maybe a year." Reina stands. "A year? He'll disappear in a week." "Sit down, officer. He knows I'm the one who turned him in. He knows where I live. He knows." "Seat. Down." Reina sits, but every muscle in her body is coiled tight, ready to run, ready to fight. Ruiz slides a folder across the table. "We're placing you in protective custody until the trial. New apartment. New identity. No contact with anyone from your old life." "I'm not hiding." "You're not being given a choice." Ruiz's voice hardens. "You're the star witness in a federal case against one of the most dangerous men in Chicago. You don't get to play hero anymore. You get to stay alive." Reina stares at the folder. Inside are keys, an address, a new driver's license with her face and someone else's name. Sarah Mitchell. Born in Ohio. No family. No history. "What about my job?" "You're suspended pending internal review." "Morrison's orders." "Of course it is. Morrison's cleaning house, protecting Victor, making sure nobody else follows Reina's lead. And if I refuse, Ruiz meets her eyes. Then you'll be dead within 48 hours. And Sophia dies with you. The words land like a slap. Because they're true, Victor doesn't leave loose ends. And Reina just became the biggest loose end of his life. She takes the folder. How long do I have? We leave in an hour. Go home. Pack one bag. Say goodbye to no one. Reina nods. But as she walks out of the federal building into the gray morning light, she realizes she doesn't have anyone to say goodbye to. No family, no partner, no life outside the badge. Just a one-bedroom apartment and a job she's not sure she'll ever get back. Her phone rings. Deshawn, you okay? He asks. Saw the news. They're saying a CPD officer disrupted a major crime ring. That was me. Silence. Then, Jesus, Reina. Are you safe? For now. You need anything? A place to stay? Money. She thinks about the thumb drive sitting in his office. The insurance policy she might never need. Just hold on to that drive I gave you. Don't give it to anyone unless I'm dead. Don't talk like that. I'm serious, Deshawn. If something happens to me, Ruiz gets it. Nobody else. He's quiet for a long time. You're scaring me. Good. That means you're paying attention. She hangs up before he can argue. By the time she reaches her apartment, the sun's fully up. The unmarked sedan is gone. But she knows they're watching. Always watching. She packs quickly. 2 changes of clothes. Her service weapon. The photo of her mother from the mantle. Nothing else matters. As she zips the bag closed, her phone buzzes. Different number this time. The queen sacrificed herself to save a pawn. How noble. How stupid. No signature. But she knows who sent it. Reina deletes the message. But her hands don't shake this time. Because Victor LaRosa made one mistake. He thought fear would stop her. But fear is just another word for knowing the stakes. And Reina's never walked away from a fight she believed in. Even if it kills her. Would you go into witness protection or stay and fight? Comment your choice. The Safe House is a 2-bedroom apartment in Evanston, 40 minutes north of Chicago. Beige walls. Generic furniture. Windows that don't open all the way. The kind of place designed to keep people in, not just threats out. Reina lasts 3 days. On the 4th morning, Agent Ruiz shows up with groceries and bad news. Victor's lawyers filed a motion to dismiss. Ruiz says, unpacking eggs and bread like this is a social visit. Claiming illegal search and seizure. Your body cam footage is being challenged. Reina's coffee cup stops halfway to her mouth. On what grounds? You weren't on duty. You had no warrant. You entered private property without probable cause. I had probable cause. I heard gunshots. Saw a hostage. His lawyers are arguing you stalked their client. That you fabricated evidence to justify harassment. Ruiz's jaw tightens. And Morrison's backing their version. Of course he is. Morrison's not just protecting Victor. He's protecting himself. What about Sophia's testimony? She's solid. But without the body cam corroborating her story, it's her word against Victor's. And Victor's got 3 witnesses who will swear he was at a business dinner that night. Reina sets the cup down. So we lose. We don't lose. We adapt. Ruiz sits across from her. I've been digging into Morrison's financials. Offshore accounts. Shell companies. All linked to LaRosa Industries. If we can prove Morrison's been taking bribes, his testimony becomes worthless. Victor's alibi crumbles. How long will that take? Weeks. Maybe months. We don't have months. Reina stands, pacing the small living room. Victor's not going to sit around waiting for a trial. He's going to run or eliminate anyone who can testify against him. We've got Sophia in protective custody. And what about the accountant? The guy in the gray suit? The dock workers who saw Victor's SUV that night? Reina Estopes, fussing Ruiz. How many of them are still alive? Ruiz doesn't answer. Which is an answer. That night, Reina can't sleep. She lies on the generic bed, staring at the popcorn ceiling, listening to the sound of nothing. No sirens. No neighbors. No life. At 2 a.m., her phone buzzes. Not the burner the FBI gave her. Her real phone, hidden in her duffel. Unknown number. The first body dropped tonight. Dock worker named Terrence. Had a wife. 3 kids. Shame. Reina's blood turns to ice. She dials Ruiz immediately. "We got a problem," she says when Ruiz answers. "Victor's cleaning house." "How do you know?" "He just told me." Ruiz is silent for 3 seconds. "Forward me the message. I'll send a unit to check it out. And if he's telling the truth, then we move faster." But fast isn't fast enough. By morning, the news confirms it. Terrence Wilkins, 42, found shot in his car outside a Southside bar. No witnesses. No suspects. Police investigating. The second body drops 2 days later. An accountant named Marcus Chun, pushed in front of a red line train during rush hour. The third body doesn't drop, because Reina gets there first. She's not supposed to leave the safe house. But she recognizes the name in Victor's latest text. Jamal Robertson, another dock worker, lived in Pilsen. Single father. She takes a cab, pays cash, wears a baseball cap pulled low. The address is a brick walk-up with rusted fire escapes. She climbs to the 3rd floor, knocks on apartment 3C. Jamal answers. Mid-30s, tired eyes, grease-stained work shirt. "Yeah. My name's Reina Calloway. I'm the cop who arrested Victor LaRosa." His face goes pale. He tries to close the door. Reina stops it with her boot. "Please, just listen. 2 men are already dead. You're next." "I didn't see nothing." "You were working dock 47 the night of November 2nd. You saw Victor's SUV. You maybe saw me go in. That makes you a witness." "I don't know nothing about no SUV." "Then why is Victor texting me your name?" Jamal freezes. "You what?" Reina shows him the phone. The message is clear. Jamal Robertson. Apartment 3C. "Say goodbye." Jamal's hands start shaking. "I got a kid. She's 8. Her mom's gone. I'm all she's got." "Then let me help you. FBI protection. New identity. Clean start." He stares at the message for a long time. Then he nods. Reina calls Ruiz. By the time agents arrive, she's already gone. Back to the safe house. Back to the beige walls and locked windows. But that night, Victor's text is different. "You're costing me money, officer. Every witness you save is another delay. Another expense. I'm a businessman. Eventually, I'll need to cut my losses." And attached is a photo. Reina's apartment building. Taken today, from across the street. She stares at the image. Then she smashes the phone against the wall. Because Victor's not hunting witnesses anymore. He's hunting her. What would you do if you were Reina? Fight back or stay hidden? Let us know. The journalist's name is Keisha Monroe. She runs an independent news blog called Chicago Uncovered. Small readership. Big integrity. The kind of reporter who doesn't back down when lawyers call. Reina reaches out through an encrypted email. No names. Just facts. Body cam footage attached. Financial records. Morrison's offshore accounts. Everything Ruiz has been sitting on, waiting for a courtroom that might never come. Keisha responds in 20 minutes. "This is huge. Can we meet?" They meet in a library in Rogers Park. Public. Crowded. Safe. Keisha's younger than Reina expected. Late 20s, locks pulled into a high ponytail, laptop covered in activism stickers. She doesn't waste time on small talk. "This footage," Keisha says, pulling up the body cam video on her screen. "You're the officer?" "I am." "And you're leaking this? Why?" "FBI's got it. They can prosecute. They can't prosecute if the case gets thrown out. And Victor's lawyers are shredding every piece of evidence we have." Reina leans forward. "But if the public sees this first, if people know what Morrison's been hiding, the pressure forces action." Keisha watches the video again. Sophia tied to the chair. Victor's calm voice. The gunfire. The arrest in the rain. "This is going to destroy Morrison's career," Keisha says. "That's the idea. And yours. You're leaking an active investigation. FBI's going to be pissed. Let them be pissed." Reina's voice is steady. "Right now, 3 men are dead because Victor's cleaning up loose ends. If I wait for the system to work, more people die. I'm done waiting." Keisha closes the laptop. "If I publish this, you know what happens. Victor comes after me too." "I know. And you're okay with that?" Reina meets her eyes. Nobody's okay with it. But somebody has to do it anyway. Keisha's quiet for a long moment. Then she opens the laptop again. "Give me 48 hours. The article drops on a Wednesday morning. The headline is simple, devastating. Chicago deputy chief took bribes from mob boss while officer fought alone. The body cam footage is embedded in the article. Unedited. Raw. The whole city watches as Raina saves Sophia, trades gunfire, cuffs Victor in the rain. By noon, Morrison's office is swarmed by reporters. By 2 p.m., the mayor's calling for his resignation. By 5 p.m., FBI agents are walking him out of CPD headquarters in handcuffs. But Victor's lawyers release a statement at 6 p.m. Our client maintains his innocence. The video shows an officer acting without authority, endangering lives through reckless vigilantism. We look forward to our day in court. Raina watches the news from the safe house. Ruiz calls 30 seconds after Morrison's arrest. What the hell did you do? What you couldn't. You just compromised an entire federal investigation. I saved it. Morrison was going to bury this case. Now he can't. Ruiz is silent. Then, you're right. But you're also fired. Officially. The second this case closes, you're done with law enforcement. I know. And Victor's going to come after you harder now. You embarrassed him. Made him look weak. Good. Raina, I'm tired of being scared, Carmen. I'm tired of playing by rules that only protect men like Victor. So yeah, I leaked the footage. And I'd do it again. Ruiz exhales slowly. Well, at least you're consistent. She hangs up. That night, Raina's phone buzzes. Not a threat this time. A news alert. Breaking. Victor LaRosa rearrested on federal racketeering charges. Bail denied. She reads the article twice. Then she cries. Not from relief. From exhaustion. From 2 weeks of fear and adrenaline and righteous anger finally draining out of her body. She falls asleep on the couch with her gun on the coffee table and the news still playing in the background. When she wakes, it's dawn. And for the first time in weeks, the world feels a little less heavy. Do you think Victor will stay in prison or find a way out? Drop your prediction. 6 months later, the trial ends. Victor LaRosa is convicted on 18 counts of racketeering, witness tampering, and conspiracy. The judge sentences him to 35 years. No parole. Morrison pleads guilty to bribery and corruption. He gets 12 years in a federal prison 3 states away. Sophia Greco testifies from behind screen, voice steady, eyes dry. After the trial, she disappears into witness protection. Raina never sees her again, but she gets a postcard 2 months later. No return address. Just 4 words. Thank you for believing. Raina keeps it on her fridge. She doesn't get her badge back. The department offers a quiet retirement with full benefits. A way to save face for everyone. She takes it, not because she wants to, because she's too tired to fight another battle. She moves into a small house in Indiana, far from Chicago, far from the life she built and burned down in the same breath. Some mornings, she wakes up angry. At the system. At Morrison. At herself for thinking one person could change anything. But most mornings, she wakes up and makes coffee and watches the sun rise over a neighborhood where nobody knows her name. And that feels like victory enough. A year after the trial, Keisha Monroe's blog turns into a podcast. Episode 1. The Officer Who Took Down a Mob Boss Alone. It goes viral. Millions of downloads. Offers for book deals. Speaking tours. Keisha calls. People want to hear from you, Raina. Your story matters. My story's over. No, it's just starting. Raina thinks about that for a long time. About Sophia. About Terrence and Marcus and Jamal. About every person who stayed silent because they thought one voice could make a difference. She agrees to one interview. Just one. The podcast episode drops on a Tuesday. Raina talks about fear. About courage. About the difference between justice and the law. The last question Keisha asks is simple. If you could go back, would you do it again? Raina doesn't hesitate. Yes. Even knowing you'd lose your career? I didn't lose my career. I traded it for something better. I traded it for the truth. The episode ends there. But the comments flood in. Thousands of people sharing their own stories of standing up when it mattered. Of choosing courage over comfort. Raina reads them all. And for the first time in a long time, she smiles. Because quiet justice isn't about headlines or medals or getting your job back. It's about doing what's right when nobody's watching and trusting that truth is louder than fear. Victor LaRosa built an empire on silence. Raina Calloway tore it down with a single voice. And in the end, that's the only victory that matters. 3 years later, Raina's sitting on her porch when a car pulls up. A young woman steps out. Early 20s. Nervous smile. Officer Calloway? Just Raina now. I'm studying criminal justice. I wrote my thesis on your case. About how one person can challenge a corrupt system. She holds out a folder. I wanted you to see it. Raina takes the folder. Inside is a paper titled Quiet Justice, the Raina Calloway model for ethical law enforcement. She looks up at the young woman. You think I'm a model? I think you're proof that the system can change. One honest person at a time. Raina hands the folder back. Then go be honest, even when it costs you everything. The young woman nods, smiles, drives away. Raina sits back down. The sun's setting. The world keeps turning. And somewhere in Chicago, another officer is making a choice between looking away and stepping forward. Raina hopes they choose forward, because that's how change happens. Not all at once, not with parades or promotions, but with one person refusing to stay silent. One person believing that truth, carried steady and sure, can dismantle the kind of power that money builds. And sometimes that's all justice needs. This story proves that one voice can change everything. If Raina's courage inspired you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss stories like this. Real people, real choices, real impact. Drop a comment below telling us what part of Raina's journey moved you most. Your words might inspire someone else to stand up when it matters. Because that's what this channel is about. Stories that remind us we're stronger than we think. See you in the next one. Stay brave.